as I make my way. The fact I'm still alive, my claim to fame. It's no surprise I'm on a rise, finna stake my claim. Separate me from the others, cause we ain't the same. Ask my brothers from another, we ain't for play. Time is money, so we got no time to waste. Soon as this thing's moving, it can't be stopped. Blue bands in my pocket, call that juggernaut.
In the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your work sure would help a lot. Put your life together.
You know the stat quo. Finna get a bag, bustin' down that blow. Out of East Side.
What up? What up? 420 Fantasy Hustler back at you. Yeah. I love it. I love it. We're in the club.
Yes. Aren't we?
Oh, yeah. Always in the club. About to smoke it up for the 420 crew. Shout out to everyone who's already up in the chat. Shout out a couple people. Oh, bright and early. Sir Bongs a lot.
Hey.
Yeah, Francisco and Dion. What up?
Jamaican.
Yeah. Devin in the building. What up, bro?
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. All right. So we got a few things to talk about today, but why don't we talk about one of the greatest tight ends of all time who's hanging up those cleats, at least for the month of June, because when Tom Brady gets on the phone with Gronk, we already know he might come back. What do you think? What percentage are you going to put it on that Gronk will come back?
Man, I think I'm going to go 50-50 because he had a chance to go out on top. And I feel like when you're a competitor from the Tom Brady ilk, you know what I mean? In this case, Gronk, you'll probably come back for that one more hurrah to try to finish it off on the highest note. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What up, Antonio?
What up, Antonio? I mean, Gronk had a Gronk year. He missed a lot of time. You know what I mean?
Had a couple big games.
Yeah, he had a bunch of big games. You know what I mean? And like, it's like he's the type of guy that don't need to be around much, and then he could show up at one point. Like, but it also is a real thing, like football shape. You know what I mean? Like, if I haven't seen what he looks like right now, but I remember that year he retired and he was doing the wrestling thing. He lost like 30, 35 pounds. You could tell.
Yeah, it took him weeks to get back to like, you know, his football weight and being able to get smashed, you know, by these crazy ass defenders. And yeah, that's probably like the biggest thing that I feel for like someone like him. He's getting so much contact. When you're not used to getting that contact, like it's gonna hurt a lot in the beginning until your body just gets used to taking those shots.
And you know what, too? Like with Gronk specifically, I mean, he got beat up early. He got like legit probably like 11, 12 surgeries in his time.
For sure.
The past 4 years that he played, you know, he has suffered some injuries, but no surgeries, nothing like that.
Nothing
so it's almost
big.
like he figured out a way to like, you know, find a happy medium because he's still one of the best blocking tight ends. You know what I mean? And that's how, I mean, remember, he used to block so tough. He had to get forearm surgery because he busted his shit or whatever. This is like back in like 2013 or whatever. And he has like a plate right here. You know what I mean? He's had several back surgeries. You know, the dude, I mean, but he's like honed his craft to the point where like he could come back late. He did it last year.
Yeah, see that the thing that sucks is he's such a good blocker because like you can't have him out there and like not blocked. Like he's too good. That's the thing that sucks about it. It's like, no, he's never just going to get lined up like a wide receiver, you know, not use like Kyle Pitts or, you know, some shit like that. He's just too good at being a blocker. And it's too easy for him to block someone and then come off the block and just be wide open for a pass.
Because Tommy will be waiting for it too. Him and Tommy, they got the mind melt. You know what I mean? Like Tommy's already going to be checking for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, not like, oh yeah, he's about to block this guy to hell. and then boom, you know what I mean? Right there in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not like he's a great route runner, you know, like, I mean, he's big, he's huge. And if he gets like a little window, I mean, Tom's going to hit him. That's really what it comes down to.
Yep. I mean, you know, I will say like the run, you know, maybe for Lenny, maybe the run game takes a little bit of hit because Gronk is not just someone who helps in the blocking game. He is a threat in the passing game. So it's like, you know, you're gonna sacrifice, you know, a linebacker or a safety from helping stop the run to like keep an eye on Gronk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And like
maybe even two people, because he's someone. I mean, exactly. if you're a dope tight end, I mean, sometimes you get a safety over the top as well, just to, you know, cover the hole that you might be in.
And look how amazing it was. I mean, how amazing it would be.
David P said he's old and done. He's not that old. I think he's only 32, isn't he?
He's like 34.
Let's see.
He can't be that. He's got to be like 33.
30. He turned 33 this year.
Okay.
In May, literally a month ago.
And he been rocking for a decade plus. What? 12 seasons?
Yeah, 2012 was when he was drafted. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I mean,
him and Aaron Hernandez. How crazy is that? And they were like battling each other like their entire careers, like from high school, college. They were always deemed like the top tight ends in high school and then college around the country. And then they end up on the same squad in the NFL. Like, that's fucking wild.
Yeah, I mean, this was the Patriots coming off of the Randy Moss era.
You know what I mean? This is the draft that got them back to the old Patriot way, it seemed like.
Well, because think about this, it was like a mashup of the two eras prior. The first era was like Tom Brady, game manager. You know, they win a couple Super Bowls off of Vinatieri's foot. You know what I mean? And then, you know, they get Randy Moss, and now he's just shredding. Like, you know, Tom Brady gets regarded as one of the best passers in the game, right? Yeah. And then when they got the double tight end sets going, it was like a mashup of both, because now they could play physical on the line, run the, you know, power run like they used to do, and then Tommy could shred you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like their defense just as always does what it does. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like with Matt, that's why it's interesting. I thought they were going to try to go back to that approach with Mac Jones or with Cam Newton first. Because remember, it was Cam Newton.
Yeah.
And then they bring in all these guys in free agency, and then they draft Mac Jones, right? And nothing changed.
Like, that was the weirdest thing about Belichick, was that he never changes like his style for anyone. I guess he had so much respect for Cam's like game in the past that he tried to use Cam as Cam.
Yeah, and how do you use Cam as Cam? It's got to be a power run team. You know what I mean? Like, and the power runner is the quarterback, and you know, so they bring in John New and Hunter Henry, guys who could block like decent, but they're also good and they got good hands. And they did this because at this point, Cam Newton, that's the strength of his passing game. Everything was short because he just lost it. You know what I mean? He didn't have no whip on the ball. He had no more deep ball, no more strength in his deep ball. It's just gone.
If it wasn't for Greg Olsen, I don't think he would have looked as good like down the stretch with the Panthers. I mean, his last couple years with the Panthers, I'm talking about.
And like, I'd say like, that's why they didn't give a fuck about moving on from Kelvin Benjamin or even like drafting a high draft capital receiver. I mean, even DJ Moore won that. What was he, a second, third round?
I'm gonna go check that out because I swear it was
because they never put an emphasis on like, all right, we need to get Cam a weapon. Cam was the weapon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even Kelvin Benjamin, I want to say he was the first rounder, and like he was really only good that the rookie.
No, DJ Moore was a first round pick.
Okay, so there you go. So that was the last time they and what's DJ Moore's strengths too? He's a yak guy. You know what I mean? So that was still another version of that, because this is when Scott Turner took over for his dad as the OC, right? Before that, they want to surround Cam with all kind of giants. Greg Olsen, Kelvin Benjamin, you know, Devin, we out here trying to funches. You know what I mean? And like, so he could just lob it up and these motherfuckers will make a play on a 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then they lose Kelvin Benjamin, and Cam has an MVP year. And you know who he was hitting off? He was hitting off the little guys. Who's my man, bro? He was
Samuel?
with, huh?
Oh, wait. You said the MVP year?
Yeah, hold on. My man, bro, he's an ill punt returner, but he was with the Saints. He was with the Cardinals. He was with the Niners. He went back to the Saints. He was with the Bears last year, but I don't think he ever saw the field. Where's Spencer?
What year was it? 2015, I mean?
So he was with my Niners when we lost the Super Bowl, 2019. Then he was with the Saints.
But 2015 was Cam's year, right?
Yeah, look up that receiving roster. Because then
Ted Ginn
Jr. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So he had Teddy G, right? And then Scott Turner takes over the next year. They draft DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, and they're like, all right, and CMC was already a thing. So they were like, all right, now Cam, we're gonna give Cam all these little ass targets. You know what I mean? Because that actually was what he started to shine in that. Because his game, these little speedy motherfuckers. Yeah, because he couldn't stretch the field no more. He got to get it he got to get it short to these guys and let them do the rest. You know what I mean? To get off this Cam thing with New England, I also thought it might have worked because I saw Josh McDaniels get to the playoffs with Tim Tebow. You know what I mean? And the first 3 weeks with Cam in New England, I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, when it's all on the strength of that defense, I guess that's really what it comes down to. And Panthers, they weren't really that good back then. I got the MVP year and all that they were, but
he had 40. Didn't he have 30 tugs and 10 rushing or something like that year?
I think barely so.
Picks. They went 15-0. Oh no, they went 14-0, and then in week 15 they lost to the Shanahan Falcons.
And what were they? 14-2 or 15-1 on the year?
They lost their first game to Atlanta at the end of that year, and I think it was week 15 or 14. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they ended up that year 15-1, or I think, right? Or 14-2.
I couldn't remember, but I swear it was 15-1.
I'm with you because I only remember them losing to the Falcons, and it was at the end of the year, and they were already saying, it's like halftime they're getting smoked, and they're like, maybe they should sit Cam, you know what I mean? And but he was trying to protect that undefeated streak, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Fucking Atlanta. All right. Another piece of news. We'll find out how big this news actually ends up being, but we got to throw out the Watson news, how he settled with all but 4 women. Now, Adam Schefter came out a little bit after this news, and he said that this really has no bearing on the outcome of everything that they're looking at right now. Because really, it's not the women that were lying or trying to chase a bag. It's, all of them and all of their stories. So I'm curious what these 4 women, what they got on him. And maybe it's the lawyers or whatever, or someone paying them more money just to, keep going through with their thing.
I mean, if Deshaun's probably his lawyers probably like, okay, now we'll settle. Because last year, if you remember this, bruh, last year the trade rumors happened, right? And then it's Miami, and Miami's on deck. And then goddamn, all the shit comes out. And then, so before it came out, they were already trying to settle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I guess that, there was already X amount of women, 20 something, that this lawyer was already saying he had in the pocket. You know what I mean? Listen, I got you, bro. You know what I mean? They're trying to pay a settlement. Didn't happen. So now, since then, hella more cases, or at least alleged cases, right? 60 something total. And then there's 4 more on top of that.
No. It was 26. It was 26 civil cases, 66 total women that he saw over the last couple years. That's where the 66.
Okay. All right. We'll look at the 20. So
and Dion said settlements equals guilty. No, it doesn't, because
it's not admission. It's basically
no, it's not. I'm never going to agree with that.
In the court of public opinion, yes.
Yes, court of public opinion, yes. But real life, no. I mean, it's really not, because sometimes you literally got to pay these headaches to go away. And it almost doesn't matter if they go up there and lie and they believe him anyways, is going to have to pay, you know, and that's really what this comes down to. I'm going to pay a little bit to make this headache go away.
Think about the timing of everything. He already had money, but he didn't want to get got, and he wanted to make sure that whether he's guilty or not, he's trying to keep his name clean. You know, don't say nothing wrong in the media, and then people still want you. And guess what?
Did he really chase those women around with his dick in his hand? I don't know about that. But I mean, it was the small towel that they said. I mean, the thing that was weird is like, so he always brought his own towel, which we're talking COVID times. If we're going over to someone's house and stuff, like that's not the craziest thing like in the world. But we're gonna find out more about what kind of shit that he was actually doing. I doubt that he was chasing anyone around with his dick.
Cleveland trades for him. They trade for him. They pay him what, 40, 50 million this year, but he's only $1 million against the cap. So they kind of expected this, right? Then he has that 40 million with 180 or 190, whatever it is, in escrow. So he's like, all right, cool. Let's settle now. You know what I mean? And these other 4 broads, I'll go to war with them, because going to war with 20 of them, even if he knows he has the assets to, because see, most of these women probably have pro bono lawyers. You know what I mean? Where they're going to keep working for free. And if they get light at the end of the tunnel, then that's how they get paid. So he could easily just be like, all right, look, I'm going to pay this. I'll pay for your lawyer fees, and I'll give you 50 racks or something. You know what I mean? Think about what's 50 bands times 20. You know what I mean? What's that? That's 2 million.
Oh yeah. 2. Let's see. Yeah. Times 20. You hit me right after I hit a bowl, man. Right. The second I'm hitting the bowl is when you get me with some numbers.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I saw you're doing the math. You're doing the math up there.
A mil is what it is.
Okay, it's a mil. Okay, so he probably spent $1 million. It's just safe to say that like it's confidential too. So we'll never know how much he spent on to settle. You know what I mean? Right. But I went down. He gave him like 50 racks each and paid all the lawyer fees. So
I mean, for a lot of people, 50 or 60 racks is more than a year worth of pay.
Especially if some of these women know that they consented to whatever went down. You know what I mean? And they're like, fuck it, I'm trying to get me a piece of that thing too. You know what I'm saying? Because these other 4 listen, I don't want to discredit any of the women, but like settling on the other side, when they agree to settle, that's an admission too to me. You know what I mean? Hey, if you were so rightfully know that you ain't lying, why settle then? If you're the victim too, you get what I'm saying?
If he's really,
got to look at it both ways. I'm not trying to be insensitive to victims or anything like that by any means. I'm just saying, like, we live in a world where they're trying to finesse every way possible. They found out he's a pervert. Boom, they're like, yes, and he's a rich one too. They're about to squeeze hella bread out of him.
I mean, we could go back to Eddie Murphy Raw, like for some of those who may remember that. And he talks about when he got into a fight at the club and shit. And, you know, it was like one person and him and, you know, and he punched one person or whatever. And then it was like, gets into a whole brawl with like everybody fighting. And he was like, and then at the end of it, everybody sued me. So like, yeah, like, I mean, people aren't stupid. They're trying to catch a bag. They're trying to jump on a train. I mean, it's funny because even like I hated DraftKings for the longest time. And then I start getting emails about a DraftKings class action lawsuit. I was like, you know what? I feel like I got screwed over out of this little bit of money, you know, that I put in like over the years. You know, I'm just going to go file this and see what happens. And I ended up getting like $250 in DraftKings credit, like coming back to me, you know, and like
they're like, come back to DraftKings though.
Like, we're not giving you cash, we're giving you credit.
That's funny. Yeah, but you see Klay Thompson the other night or the other day at the parade?
Yeah, when he someone like pushed him and he like ran into that woman.
Yeah, so he was so faded, and I think someone knocked him, like, and he was just like, whoa, trying to catch his balance, and he knocked
someone right behind him. Some big ass dude, like, was like trying to like give him a high five or something, and belly bumped him, and he like lost all his balance.
Oh, that was my homie Booty Doo. They call him Booty Doo because his stomach stick out farther than his booty do. He came up and hit him with the Booty Doo.
Man, and he didn't clock the woman, but he ran right into her, fell super hard on her. And I mean, but he picked her up and she was probably like stoked. Like that's probably like a story she's gonna be telling people about that. And it's not like he just left her down there. He helped her up and
but
shit.
I'm saying though, and she could be, she's a diehard Warrior fan probably, but what if she like fractured an elbow bone or some shit? Bro, that's a bag.
Yeah. For
you know
sure.
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If it was a regular motherfucker, they don't. I mean, what are you gonna do? You better let me see your ID and all that stuff, so I could file a civil suit against you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, you already know this is Klay Thompson. We already know his name and everything about it.
Exactly. Motherfuckers got footage of it. Like, thank you, TikTok. There's all my evidence. You know what I mean?
Mike, what up, bro? He said, "What's good, homies? I'm still at work. I caught that IDP video. Hell yeah!" So anyone who didn't see, I dropped my top 12 IDP linebackers for redraft. I'm gonna throw the link in the chat right now. Make sure you go give it a like, throw a comment in there, show some love, and
where you got Jerome Baker in there? I just swooped him up. I felt good about it. I always missed out on him because you always end up with him.
Yeah, it depends on when he gets drafted because I'll never have him in my top 12. He's just not that type of player, and he may not even crack my top 24. He might be right at the end of the 24 run. But yeah, it's just tough for him. He plays on defense with a lot of good players, and he kind of does everything. He's a real Swiss Army knife, and so because he doesn't get like 100 solo tackles, and because he doesn't get 15 sacks or 8 interceptions. I mean, he's kind of just a really good, solid like flex guy.
I like it.
And David P said it's kind of like when you pushed your sister out of the way and she would dramatically flop. Whoa, like just all into the wall and shit. And
right? And then you get narked on. You know what I mean?
I was bad because my sister was always fucking narking on me. I'd go out of my way to set up booby traps to like do things to like fuck her up. I remember like one time, this is so bad. I don't even remember how old I was. And I don't even remember the exact reason why I did it. I just remember she got me in trouble for something, maybe like a couple weeks before that. So I set up a broom, just like a regular broom, like, well, maybe it was one of those wooden ones. And I tied like a little rope to it around the door handle. And I acted like I had something important to tell her. And I was like, come in here, shut the door. When you come in, I didn't even know if it was going to work. And she shut that door hard as fuck. And the broom just goes, bam, hits her right on the back.
Damn.
And I got in trouble again, but I felt like the Mighty Ducks. 2 hours, well worth it.
Right?
Probably like 8 or something at the time. I don't even remember. Some little badass kid.
That's funny. Man, it's funny. I'm all trying to think of a story. I'm like, I know I done some fucked up shit when I was a kid. I digress.
We'll save that for the past. Yeah, we'll save that for a show when we're all on mushrooms together. That'd be fun. And and if you haven't heard the Cheech and Chong next movie podcast, go check that out. It's on ssbpod.com, Silver Screen Breakdowns. I'm still figuring out. I got to cut out a lot of these clips that YouTube doesn't let us play, but I think I've almost got it. I think there may be just like 1 or 2 little, and I'm trying to chop out just pieces of the clips so we can still have most of the clips in there. So that should be out in the next couple days. And all right, this one, I saved this one for you, Bogard. I know you're going to like this one. So the Jets OC, Mike LaFleur, talking all about Breece Hall, talking him up real heavy, how he's expected to be the team's like lead runner in the backfield. And they do have plans to utilize Carter. It's not like he's going away, but they expect Breece Hall to be like the 101 of that backfield. And he said they really, what did he say? He said Hall's fluid movement and receiver skills out of the backfield will benefit Zach Wilson. And here's the quote. He's a fluid mover. He sneaks up on defenders more than I guess you can say. Watching him on tape when you're in when you're there in person, it's a different movement style. The guards aren't used to it, I guess you could say. He's 220 pounds, covers a lot of yards, and when he does it, it looks like he's covering a lot more yards. He's fast. He gets up on people pretty quick, and then he's such a fluid, big body target. They made sure to put that in all caps.
He loves his big body fluid, doesn't he? He's just
He loves his big, but then breathes his big
fluid
body
coming out of that body. Like, damn, the floor.
He's all on him, man. He's stroking him off. I had to read. This is a whole quote. Like,
how many times do you say fluid in there? Under over. What, 2? I say over. He must have said fluid like 3 times.
Okay, well, so when I said he's a fluid mover, everything before that was what the that was what the tweet said. That was like what they said, and then the rest was the quote. So I think it was only one time that he said it, but no, he said fluid twice, and there we go. I just saw it twice, and he said then when he makes
all got to do it fluid,
got to do it fluid. And he said, then when he makes his move, he's not like a smaller, shiftier running back where you have to feel if you have to put it on him. He's got the big catch radius, and I know quarterbacks are going to feel that.
Here's the thing, man. The talent is everything we already knew. But yeah, I hate something like this because we've been kind of getting in a redraft. Breece Hall's been falling to that 3rd round.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's awesome.
The super flex mock we did the other day, I got him in late 4th round.
I was enjoying that because, I mean, look at Javonte Williams last year in startup dynasties, like startup, right? Everybody in that motherfucker. He was going in like the 1-2 turnaround type of, like, if you weren't getting the QB, motherfuckers were taking Najee and or Javonte. They were doing this.
Yeah, that was
you know
crazy.
What I mean? This year is because the Jets are always going to have that stank on them. You know what I mean? They're the Jets, right?
Yep.
So like these, and then look at, so we've been able to get Breece Hall fairly at a good price for the goddamn startups. You know what I mean? But something like this, I was just telling this to Spencer yesterday. We're in Blurb. This is Blurb city right now. This is that time of off season where it's like the Blurbs are really gonna dictate some ADPs here. Like, even if it's just a few spots, it's still gonna happen. You know what I mean? Somebody yesterday.
If anyone's doing bad, I bet we will never hear a coach say that the person's doing bad. We'll just never hear it. We're only gonna hear the different levels of good that people are doing.
Hey, when you hear they're doing bad, though, it's all bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if it's like who was it? Like Debo, right? Like his rookie year. No. Dante Pettis. I remember that in like training camp or whatever, and he was a rookie. We already knew he was in the doghouse. Like they hated him.
It was like, hey, and here's the thing too. Like they kept giving Pettis the shot. That's the thing. Is like because he had
no other receivers really. Like it was weak. It was weak at that time.
Yeah, this was the 2018. It was like Kittle. And then like Pettis and then hey, for real, it was like little bitty flashes of Kendrick Bourne. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Who else? Yeah, it was crazy.
And David P said, "Is it too late to cancel my trade, Bogey?"
What trade did we make?
I don't even remember.
Hold on, David P. What's his handle on the thing? Crispy, right? Oh, is it too late for that trade? Damn, we never made. I was trying to. He got Quay Walker there. I was so fucking hot. Was it?
That's what it was. Yeah, you traded. It was like a 19. You traded away a 19 for like, then probably I don't know 20 and a 21.
I dropped back. I had dropped back like 11, 12 spots, and I got an extra pick.
Yeah,
and like because I didn't want to pull, so I'm in the 7th. What was that? The 16th round. I didn't want to pull up Quay Walker, but I'm like, you know what? I'll swing back around, get this extra pick, bing bang, and I can get Quay Walker and Quincy Williams. You know what I mean? Because that's who I was targeting in that range. And then like right before I'm on, Quay Walker goes, and I was high. I was like, man, it's almost like the fantasy guys are like, this one's gonna be funny. Watch when it gets back to him. You know what I mean? It always has been happening to me a lot in this draft. The 2 trades I made, I would have rather just took the guy I wanted to take. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you had just took Aaron Jones. I get on the clock. I'm like, I should take AJ Dillon right here because that's who I would have took regardless. And I'm like, but you know what? This offer on the table is pretty nice. You know what? Except, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And it was fucking Titans, right? And then I moved back, and then AJ Dillon doesn't get past Spencer. And I was like, fucking son of a bitch. I fucking knew that. I saw that coming.
Yep. I love it.
The pain.
Yeah, you bastard. I see it. I just pulled it up. Yeah, you got Jerome Baker right there. Love it.
There were some other guys I could have got, but you know what? I went with the youth. I let it dictate it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like Jerome Baker's like one of the only veterans on your team now, or at least from the last bunch of picks that you made.
I was looking at Buckner, but you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's like it's a balance with some tackles, and then like he'll be close to double digit sacks. That's like a Buckner year, right? You know what I mean? But I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just not that interested in the D tackles like that.
Right. And I love my IDP right now. I got Jordan Brooks, CJ Mosley, Eric Kendricks, Antoine Winfield, and Jordan Poyer. I'm super stoked on this part. No linemen though. Got to get them going soon. So I feel like a bunch are going to be going here.
Buckner's right there for you.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping that you didn't shout out his name because he was someone I was hoping might make it all the way back to me. We'll see. I mean, there's still some other people in that range that I'm looking at, but I mean, he's the tops of the list, right now. And he's not like
I need to charge this motherfucker.
All right, let's see. So last piece of news that we got, and I mean, it's really, really kind of uneventful, but Kareem Hunt, he's seeking a contract extension. Says the final year on his deal. His base salary is only 1.35. So I mean, shit, like nothing. I mean, this is coming off his bullshit that he.
That's why he signed that deal that he signed, because he signed the 1 year, 1 million with the Browns that year, but he had all that shit. But it was the GM of the Browns at the time was the former GM for the Chiefs that drafted him, so gave him a shot. You know what I mean? Like, all right, come over here, kid. Yeah. Nothing transpired. You know what I mean? Even actually, what did he get? He did get suspended. He had a suspension.
It was like eight games, I think.
Yeah, so they gave him the $1 million for that first year, that 2019 year. Yeah, the 2019, they gave him $1 million.
Hey, Will, we're gonna get to this after we talk about Kareem Hunt. I got you.
Yeah. So they gave him $1 million, and then but they own the rights to him for the next year.
Yeah.
And then I think they also had a tender on him. And they put him on the block. Nobody wanted him. They weren't going to pay no second round plus give the man a deal. You know what I mean? Right. So and that's kind of smart, because you're like, look, man, nobody wants you. We're gonna go ahead and extend you for like the dummy low. I think he got like $6 million for 2 years, and it was front loaded. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then real quick, don't forget, guys, we are doing this Friday. I'm doing 2 mock drafts. So for the second mock draft, the one that's happening at night, we're doing the signed Ricky Williams jersey giveaway. There's probably been like 20 people that have signed up on Patreon just this month. So if you want to get extra entries, now is the time to do it. Either bump up your plan to the next tier, or super chats, or if you're sending a Cash App. I told you, if you do like Cash App or Apple Pay, I'll give you 2 entries for every $1 that you send. So yeah, Cash App and Apple Pay or on Facebook Pay is the way to go to get some extra entries going. But only 2 days away. We got Playmakers tonight, which I'll be shouting it out on. And then we got mock drafts happening on Thursday and Friday morning. So got a couple more shots to get it in.
You bitch you.
Yeah. And last thing about Kareem Hunt. So he does have a lot of incentive bonuses that he could hit. I don't know exactly all of them, but he can earn up to an additional 4.9 mil if he hits all of those. I don't know what the hell they are, but he can get an extra 5 mil if he hits these incentives.
You know what? If I'm Kareem Hunt, I'm asking for an extension, but not nothing crazy. And I'm sticking around for the Watson experience football wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's 26. So I mean, 26-year-old running backs really can't expect to be getting a crazy bag anyways. But Yeah, I mean, you gotta want that extension going into the last year because
he could get like a Jamal Williams bag.
What did he get? Like 2 years, $6 million or some shit like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's better than getting hurt having to test the open market.
Look at Kenyan Drake, man. See, that's how stupid the Raiders were with their old regime. You know what I mean? They gave Kenyan Drake
2 years, $11 million, and they never even fucking use them.
Yeah. 14 mil even. Yeah, I think the 11 was like the guaranteed.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Something nasty.
Yeah. Damn Raiders. Now I'm gonna go see because now I'm curious. I swore it was 11.
Yeah, I swore it was 14.
So no, both of us were right. It was 2 years, 11 mil, and all of it was guaranteed.
Oh wow.
Crazy.
Hey man, hey, shout out to his agent, bro.
Hell yeah.
Because Kenyan Drake never really did nothing. He probably has like 16 total games in his career. He could probably put one season together where it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? That guy was.
They showed him that They showed him that Cowboys game is what they did. That game where he went for almost 200 on Monday Night Football. That was one where I was watching.
Gruden got all he got us. He hit me in a soft spot because he misses Monday nights. You know what I mean?
He made me real happy that Monday night.
Right.
Oh, man. All right, Sir Bong's a lot. He threw in the we got it. Let's smoke it up. And before we get out of here, I got to talk about. So we're calling it the Hustler Best 2 tournament, is what it is. So best ball tournament, the second year, and second year, and 252 teams are going to be in this biatch because we did add another division, and one division it's like almost half Australian dudes because one of the guys he had a whole bunch of homies who wanted to play, so I felt like that was a good reason to open up another division so we can make it even more international than what it already is. But it's super fucking dope because we got damn near every state in the United States covered, and Cali, hella people in Cali in this tournament. So that's fucking awesome.
I'm trying to tell y'all, we ain't playing.
This shit's going to be dope. Whole world. We got multiple people in Mexico, a ton of people in Canada. Canada's probably like, it's Canada. Canada probably has less than Australia in, since the one dude brought like 5 of his homies over, and I think maybe there's like 9 people in Australia in this tournament, and then we got people in the UK.
Shout out to Canada.
Yeah,
I fuck with Canadian bacon.
Hell yeah.
Give me money.
So every country in North America is spoken for.
It's all hemispheres.
It's fucking awesome.
You feel me?
And Antonio said, me, Hustler, and Bogey are in the Willie Beeman, and I'm pumped for that one. Hold on. Let's get it. Where is it? Where is it? You're dreaming. And what I'm gonna do for when I do these draft order races and shit, I'm gonna try to see if I can get some dope clips from the movie and the characters, who are doing it. Because man, like I always, whenever I'm thinking about it, just like the Willie Beeman when they start playing that song, the whoa, do you want a revolution? Like when he throws that 70-yard bomb, it looks like, and it's all in slow motion and just perfect hit for the touchdown. Like, man, Willie Beeman was killing it out there.
I wonder if he really got with like a quarterback coach.
Oh yeah, they didn't fuck around on this movie. Like that
was a stupid question, huh?
I mean, T.O. was out there working with the wide receivers and shit. T.O. was in the movie. He was one of the wide receivers.
That's dope. Of course, he would be working with them receivers too.
Hell yeah, showing him what's up. So him and Bill Bellamy, like, because Bill Bellamy was like the main wide receiver in the movie on the squad. So it's like T.O. giving him some wide receiverism, so he fucking looked like a G out there.
Hey, Bill Bellamy was the man, bro. He came up off the MT. I mean, he was a stand-up, but like, yeah, he got in. He came up off being a VJ. Remember
Hell
MTV?
yeah. That was a good gig back in the day because everybody watched fucking MTV back then.
Yeah, like, who is it? You had what's his name, man? Carson Daly was like the GOAT VJ.
Man, Carson Daly, like, man, we're still thinking about it to this day. Like, I'd rather have him sitting next to Carson Daly and Fred Durst and hear them argue over who she gave head to first.
Right. hey, what's his name though? Carson Daly, that fool came up.
Hell yeah, man. He was, I mean, I swear he was like Mr. MTV. Like, I mean, TRL was like the most popular show like back then. It's on every fucking day. And millions of people watching every fucking day.
Hey, the dude, right? I don't know what network it was on, but he had a late night gig at one point where he would like meet up with artists, watch their show, and then he had like, you know, and he would like pregame with them or like drink with them after. I can't remember what the show name, but I remember it was on regular TV because there was a time period for a long time where I didn't have no cable, so it was like old school shit. You know what I mean? Where I'm watching whatever the fucking TV gives me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was goddamn. I want to say it's like 2008, 9. He had this show. But it was right because he was on there.
What up, Jake? He said, hangovers suck. Damn, bro. Gotta smoke some weed or start drinking like right now.
I know what time of the day. Where is Jake from? Because like,
I'm not sure what
like,
part of the country.
Yeah, because I'm like, damn, are you just waking up now, Jake? He's partying hard. You know what I mean?
It's like on Cheech and Chong. Remember when he wakes up, he just comes out all fucked up, goes right back for the beer, get it rolling.
Right out the fish tank.
Steve Johnson, what up? He said, should I do a lottery or a predetermined order for my fantasy league? Well, I guess I'm not sure how a lottery would work unless you're talking about randomizing it just like last second. I like using 100yardrush.com. It's a simulated 100-yard dash. You put everyone's names in, you shuffle the deck a couple times, then it just spits them out, and then it's super random. Everyone just runs a 100-yard dash, and that's a cool way to do it. And definitely nobody will feel cheated because it's so fucking random.
And like you put in, I mean, they'll be like average yards per carry, average. You know what I mean? What was it? They have different things that you add the numbers in, and it helps randomize it. You know what I mean?
Lowest yards per rush, high max yards per rush, and then lowest seconds per rush, and then highest seconds per rush.
You know what's crazy? We never really juiced the max yards per rush up. We should do that for one of them. You know?
We've had to do it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but motherfucker just go, boom, he was just be gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see what it is, it's like it's the max, it's so really what it is, it's like if you did the lowest yards per rush and then the maximum yards per rush, that's where it would get like real crazy, you know, because there's so much difference that it could be, so many more variables. That's what it comes down to.
It's a photo finish.
Yeah, but that shit would be cool. Yeah.
But did we have some? We had something that someone else asked us in the chat before we go.
Oh, yeah. Will, what up, bro? He said, what round would you draft Breece Hall in redraft? So I don't think that I'd draft him before the 4th round, personally.
Single QB. I mean, listen, in the home leagues, he's
that
gonna
applies
go,
to me.
like,
That
he's
applies
going to go
me.
no later than the 2nd round in home leagues.
Well, maybe because, like, I mean, I remember playing in some home leagues and like really like a work league where like one year I got Leonard Fournette, CMC, and like all on the same team because nobody wanted to fuck with the rookies, and I got them like hella late.
Okay, I guess there's that. I'm just like the hype, where like this blurb is gonna do it. This blurb is gonna add to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watch when we see him catch one pass from in training camp. You know what I mean? They're like, oh my God, he's gonna be a top 5. He's catching the ball. And LaFleur said Carter will be in the mix, but you know, we think he's so fluid out of the backfield, Fluid. It's so sick. He got the flu.
So, but you can answer the question. What round would you draft him in, though? It doesn't matter when someone else is going to take him.
I'm willing to take him in the third.
Okay.
Single QB.
So you wouldn't jump in the second? Super
flex. He might fall to the fourth. No, I won't jump to the second. There's too many guys I'll take over. Like if
single QB, end of the second.
Okay. End of the second, we're looking at guys like
211, 212.
Yeah, we're looking at guys like Debo, Mike Evans.
Probably not Mike, more like Tyreek and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess Mike Evans is still there, but I haven't seen
I mean, 2-3 turnaround because this is the range that he be at. You know what I mean? Like in some, and I'm just relating this to like the mocks where I had the 1 overall. You know what I mean?
Hey, Dion said he's not as hyped as Allaire. Thank God. Allaire was going in the first round. Bogard was one of the people driving that Allaire train, and I
named the Fresh Prince of Hell Air, bro.
I didn't. Me and Bogart didn't know each other.
Hey, the first week he went yay. It was, you know what I mean.
And everyone thought it was about to be like, ooh,
It was so crazy.
James in the building. What up, Kidda? What up, bro?
What up, Kidda?
Okay, that year fucked me in. So one league specifically, it was an auction draft. I had CMC and CEH. I paid up, and those were like the most expensive guys that I ended up getting. And man, that fucked me. That was like the most unfun season like ever.
I mean, you know what's crazy is like I had just 3 years of bad beats losing in my $500 keeper. You know what I mean? Just for three. For 3 years straight. And like then they were like, "Oh, you're about to be the Buffalo Bills," and I'm like, "Oh, so you're putting me back in it?" Like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't care like how whatever you said about me. I was finna, and then I was 1 and done in the playoffs this year. So I was high.
So were you, I mean, and in that league, I'm assuming it's like at least the top 2 get some bread, right?
Yeah, third place too. Third place gets bread. Third place actually wins money back and 200. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a fat ass pot. So
yeah,
totally.
Yeah, there's raquitos.
Yeah,
and like, you know, that one's been. It was split for the 3 years straight because that's what was agreed upon between me and the other people that I was in there with.
Yeah,
and then last year they didn't split. It was funny because like, so my man's shout out to my man A1. He was in this joint with the reigning champion. He was back in it. You know what I mean? To defend the title. You know what I mean?
Back to back
Yeah,
years.
he's already he. This guy didn't go back to back, but he's a 2-time champ already.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He beat me both times to be the champ, right?
Okay.
And then 2 out of those 3 that I lost, right? And then my man's he's never even he's only made it to the playoffs 1 year. In this league, but he's always just one of those teams, bro. Like just, you know what I mean?
Always good, just right on the outside looking in.
Yeah, because like his injuries or whatever. Like last year, he was the Austin Eckler, Cooper Kupp, fucking whatever team. But you know, then he comes back with that same team this year, though. You know what I mean? And and he was able to secure Najee. You know what I'm saying? So it was you know he had a hell of a run. Which sucks too, because he's the one that knocked me out. I was the 2 seed that year, last year, so I was on the way. You know what I mean? I was like, listen, and anyways, my man's in the other league, the one that where I was watching the AJ Dillon shit. Remember with you on the stream?
Yeah.
So I was playing him in that league too.
Ooh,
and he ain't never got to neither of the chips. So he was like, and then he said straight up, he's like, "Hey, I don't want no split." Like, all right. You know what I mean? So I beat him in that one. And then the whole time, the Monday, bro, I'm hearing it from him. You know, fantasy. Me and him are. He's the first one I ever told about Fantasy Row. You know, WROE, the fantasy wide range of emotions, and we all live on Fantasy Row. So he's just texting me that Monday, Rose B, fucking Rose. He's like, I shouldn't have, because this is the big one. It's the $500 joint. You know what I mean? There's a lot of raquitos there that he could have just split with and been like okay with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And listen, and it's not even going his way still. You know what I mean? But just and I witnessed you, and the joy you felt from young Najee. You know what I mean?
Literally the last play.
And that shit swung the whole thing, bro. And then it was like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't split.
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't give a fuck about losing the one to me. The one he lost to me was only that one was only a little itty bitty $100. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you win that league, that $500 league. Like all the other leagues don't mean shit. That one paid for everything, no matter what.
And that one's a keeper league too. It's been the same band of misfits. We've been going at this one. That was year 5. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and a lot of times people don't want to stick with something if they haven't conquered it in year 1 or 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, he's only gotten to the playoffs that first year, and he was one and done, and he's just been outside of that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yep. Hell yeah, and it's rough, and I know. I mean, there's some. Every league that I played in, I won a championship in, at least one. But like this one league that I'm probably not going to be in this year. I mean, Band of Misfits, like some of these dudes I went to elementary school with, but I'm just not doing Yahoo anymore. I was like, if you guys move it to Sleeper, I'm in 1,000,000%. But if you're doing it on Yahoo, I'm just not fucking with it. I gotta draw a line.
You could tell them, because then is Sleeper still giving it 100 to move the league?
I don't know yet. That's something that only happens in August, like.
Oh yeah, because if they do that, right?
Averages right now, so.
And then, because then you could tell everybody, listen, man, there's $10 off your buy-in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
or just say there's an extra 100 in the pot or something. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. So that could be one thing, and we'll see as it gets closer. But I have one
on Sleeper, right? Sleeper's like unprotected sex. Like no one likes wearing the rubber, and no one likes the Yahoo number. Like, man, fuck this shit. You know what I mean?
Yahoo's not stepping it up. That's really the thing. If they've been making improvements, over the years, but they haven't made any fucking improvements in easily like 6-7 years.
Yahoo thinks they're the great white shark because the great white shark never had to evolve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then people are still just going to like it because it's home. Like, you know what I mean? It's just something like they're used to. Like motherfuckers that still have cable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just something that, like, there's really no reason to have it.
Yeah.
They just have it, like me.
And I haven't won that league since 2012. And that's the one that I just talked about the other day, the Aaron Rodgers and Andrew Luck and Brandon Marshall. And
with the neck beard?
Yeah, yep, the neck beard. But like these last 4 years, the reason why it hasn't been fun, I've had the most points against every single year for these last 4 years. And like, it's not because my teams aren't good. Like my teams are always fucking good, but I'm literally like scratching and clawing, like to just win games for whatever reason.
That's why I felt good to dominate. Like, actually, I didn't even. So that keeper league, I dominated one and done, and the other one, I was a wild card, and I smoked everybody. You know what I mean? Like, I dominated in the playoffs. It was just like,
what do you smoke?
The Aaron Rodgers. You know what's crazy is there was someone who bit into the Bogard trade vortex, bruh. Because when Devontae Adams, he was hurt, and I came through with a DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I got DeAndre Hopkins for you, bro. You know what I mean? And he was like, done. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, whoa, that was fucking. I mean, I threw in a Michael Carter, and I think I got back like J.D. McKissick because I have Gibson. Yeah. So it was like one of those deals. You know what I mean? But yeah, they were like, they didn't. It was the day that they said he had like an ankle, but they didn't know how long. And then like 2 days later, like, oh yeah, he's questionable for the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He did miss a week.
Fourth and Flex Fantasy Football Podcast. What up, homie? This is the
What's happening?
Yeah, what up, bro?
Yeah, but see, it was dope because, man, having that Rodgers and Adams stack, you know what I mean? That's a stack to have, bro. And that's just a stack that'll never be again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember one of the leagues that I won in 2018, I told you in 3 separate leagues where I won a championship, I had Hopkins, Adams, and Michael Thomas. All of them killed it. That year, each one of them. Mm-hmm. And in the league where I had Adams, I had the Rodgers and Adams stack, and that wasn't his best year, but I also had Andrew Luck. It was a single QB team, and I had Rodgers and Luck again in a single QB, and they both just killed it like all year. It didn't even matter who I played championship week, which I did play Andrew Luck, and I'm glad because his last game in the NFL, 2018, last game in the NFL for him. Yeah. I won a championship with him on his way out. But Aaron Rodgers did better than him that game. But it didn't matter.
He played the Jags, huh?
Yeah. Yeah,
He
that's why I
played the
played him.
Jags. That was the nasty Jags too.
Yeah,
And
that
you know
was
who
the
went crazy
Saxonville.
on him? Eric Ebron, right? Was it Ebron that went crazy?
I don't know. I cannot remember.
I think
Apple
Andrew Luck might
cookies,
even
I
had
like
like a mad game because I lost the Super Bowl that year with Andrew Luck. I was high. I was like, ugh.
Yeah,
Andrew Luck was always that guy. I always found a way to have Andrew Luck. It's like having Mahomes or like Josh Allen these days.
Because he didn't finish as a top 5. I'm pretty sure he finished like 10, like number 9 or 10 on the week. So it's still a really good week, but it wasn't, top 3 quarterback of the week.
They were able to get the run going for the first time in his career because they had a top rated line that year. They drafted Quentin Nelson, and they already had like 2 or 3 other.
Didn't they have Frank Gore? Was that the year they had Frank Gore?
No, that was the rookie Marlon Mack, Naeem Hines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or pretty much anybody that they were putting back there was just working.
Yeah, Marlon Mack was nasty. Marlon Mack was a flasher back in the days. Like, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, he turned into a plotter. Like, you know what I mean? Like after like 2 years, it was like, what happened?
Well, he just kept getting hurt and shit. And now, and he didn't play all of last season and shit, or whatever it was the year before.
Yeah,
can't even remember. Was it last year or the year before that he got hurt and didn't play?
Year before, 2020. Remember week 1? Everybody, we're all drafting Taylor like, round 4, round 5 in your redraft leagues.
Because Mack's still the starter.
And then Marlon, because Mack's still the starter. And then Marlon Mack goes out there first series of the game and ruptures his Achilles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was the game Gardner Minshew shredded. Because I was a Minshew truther that year as like Minshew is the cheap, he's the cheap Kyler Murray. You know what I mean? Like you're going to get some rushing yards. You're going to get the pass attempts. He's on a team that's bad, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like it was all DJ Shark was still like hella hype. He's 2020. You know what I mean? And like, bruh, he came out there and shredded the Colts, who ended up being like a top 3 defense that year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was week 1. You know what I mean?
Oh man, fucking Gardner Minshew. I had him as a QB3 in too many leagues that year.
And there's a few times last year when everyone was like, oh, so what should the Niners do? And then there was all these like rumors like, oh, maybe we'll look at Matt Ryan and they'll reunite with Shanahan's. Like, man, fuck all that. Then there was like other people were like, they're talking about, oh, maybe they trade for Stafford, or there's all these rumors. And I remember I was like, man, fuck all that, man. Just get Gardner Minshew for the low. Hey, Gardner Minshew's a winner, bruh. I don't give a fuck.
Yep, he's a fucking savage.
That guy doesn't even shower, bruh. Dirt is scared. The dirt is scared of him.
Oh man, what a savage, Gardner Minshew. Yeah, I don't think he's ever leaving Philadelphia now because they need him to back up Hurts.
Mm-hmm. He's like he's the White Ertz.
Yeah.
White Ertz. Yeah.
All right.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, get the hell up out of here. And tell them about Playmakers tonight, though.
Yeah, Playmakers, it's going down live 6:00 p.m. West Coast time, 9:00 p.m. for all you East Coasters out there. And we continuing our What is More Likely series. For example, what's more likely? Rashad Penny beats out. Rashad Penny holds the starting job over what's his face? Walker. And or Michael Carter eats into Breece Hall. Like shit like that. I'm just making one up off the top of my head, but we got a shitload of shit like that. It's all a bunch of fantasy talk and just different scenarios, you know what I mean? And it's a fun show. So tap in. We getting loaded. I'm gonna eat some mushrooms, you know what I'm saying? Per usual.
Hell yeah. And we'll see you guys later. And if you're not in the big chat for the best ball tournament on the Facebook, in the Facebook Messenger, just shoot me a text or a DM or whatever so I can get you in, because the chat is super, super lit in there. A lot of updates are going to be happening and a bunch of people just talking shit, getting ready for this draft. And I'm going to be doing mock drafts all the way through this weekend. Thursday, I'm going to do 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. We're just going to be doing a shitload of these mock drafts to get ready. Tournament starts in like a week and a half, so it's time to get everybody ready for it.
Blah. as I make my way. The fact I'm still alive, my claim to fame. It's no surprise I'm on a rise, finna stake my claim. Separate me from the others, cause we ain't the same. Ask my brothers from another, we ain't for play. Time is money, so we got no time to waste. Soon as this thing's moving, it can't be stopped. Blue bands in my pocket, call that juggernaut.
In the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Get your life together.
You know the stat quo. Finna get a bag, bustin' down that blow. Out of East Side,